The towering silhouette of Blackwood Manor loomed in the mist, its ancient walls whispering forgotten secrets. MIA clutched her camera, her heartbeat steady but filled with anticipation. The locals spoke of the house as if it were alive, a cursed place that swallowed those who entered. She had come for the truth, not the myths. Stepping inside, she was met with an oppressive silence. Dust clung to every surface. Paintings stared at her with hollow eyes, and the air felt heavy, almost sentient. Then, a whisper. She turned, her pulse quickening. At the foot of the grand staircase stood a woman draped in a flowing 80s dress, her expression lost in fear. She moved as if unaware of Mia's presence, her voice barely audible in the thick silence. Mia's grip tightened around her camera, but when she peered through the viewfinder, the woman was gone. The house was playing tricks on her, bending time in ways she couldn't yet understand. Venturing deeper into the manor, she discovered an unsettling pattern. Every door she opened led her back to the grand hall. Every window revealed glimpses of different years, 1987, 1952, 1910, as if the house existed in multiple timelines at once. Then came the footsteps. They echoed from all directions, and when she turned, the lost family stood before her. Their faces were pale, their eyes hollow, their presence unsettlingly real. They did not belong to this time, and yet they had never truly left. Panic surged through her as she tried to escape, but the house stretched endlessly, twisting its corridors into a maze. Doors slammed shut, walls trembled, and shadows moved just beyond the edges of her vision. Desperation clawed at her as she reached for her phone, only to find it lifeless. Her reflection in a dusty mirror sent ice through her veins. It wasn't Hayes anymore. She needed answers, and fast. A forgotten diary sat untouched on the dining table, its pages brittle with age. As she flipped through, a single entry stood out. The house needs a soul to stay awake, a sacrifice to keep the past alive. The whispers grew into screams, the spectral family stepping closer, their expressions pleading. MIA understood now. The house was not cursed, it was hungry. Someone had to take their place. With trembling hands, she seized a candle and stepped toward the grand fireplace, the heart of the manor. The flames roared to life, and the house let out an anguished cry. The walls cracked, the family began to fade, and the shadows clawed at her, desperate to pull her back. A final scream filled the night before everything plunged into darkness. When MIA opened her eyes, she was outside. The manor was gone, reduced to smoldering ruins. The cold air pressed against her skin as she struggled to breathe. She had survived, or so she thought. Lifting her camera, she stared at the flickering screen. Her reflection stared back at her. It wasn't her own. Blackout, end scene.